What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. Today it is pulling back down 7.1%, but there's quite a lot of things to talk on, so I want to go over everything that you need to know. So let's get right to it. So like I said, it is pulling back, 1271 the low, 1378 the high. Very little volume, so 26.5 million shares being traded, 82.4 is the average. So big money is definitely not really buying the SoundHound dip. And that's just because there's a couple of things that generally the market does not like. One is dilution. So it's kind of a good bad thing. I'm going to go over what I mean by that. But no news submitted from SoundHound today. There was this that was submitted that was early this morning, a S3. So that's a shelf offering. And so as you can kind of see, I highlighted right here. So up to 500 million of Class A common stock. So dilution. Couple of things to note with this S3, it is, like I said, a shelf offering for 3 years. So they don't have to disclose when they're going to be issuing any shares over the next 3 years, because this will encumber all of that. So it is a good thing. It's also at the same time a bad thing. Just the market is instantly pricing in all of this dilution as though it is happening right now. So that's kind of the bad thing. Good thing is, based on what SoundHound has stated in the past and their balance sheet, they actually have a good amount of cash as is. So this is just me speculating. I don't think I've seen anyone kind of talk on it, but to have this much money, and when they've previously stated that they don't have any debt and that their balance sheet is fairly good, it makes me feel that they have a acquisition or some plan. And SoundHound they definitely, based on their history, they like their acquisitions. So this again is just pure speculation, but at the same time, I think that there might be more to it than what is being just seen for this. So it is what it is. It's just dilution, so the market's just taking SoundHound down based on this for fair face value. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. So yeah, it is what it is. It's not the best. I would rather take this over insider selling any day. But yeah, that's just my viewpoint. Another very big thing to bring up though is shorts. So right now shorts are increasing as per usual, 515,000 shares, but they have been increasing more than what has been kind of what we thought of. 33.22% of the free float is being shorted, 109.35 million shares. So that's what it works out to be. So all-time high short interest numbers. Just looking here, it just skyrockets. And the reasoning why it is like this is because of NASDAQ. So 2 times per month, the NASDAQ does disclose the true amount of shares being shorted. Report came out yesterday, so it's as of January 15th, 2024 or 2025. So it's kind of delayed, but what Ortex does is, and other platforms, they take this information and calculate up to present day. So ultimately, as of January the 15th, there was 100.76 million shares. So meaning from December the 31st up until January the 15th, shorts increased roughly around 20 million. So 80 million to that 100. So they've been doubling down more than what we originally thought. So it did increase 25.96%. Extremely high numbers. So yeah, this definitely is a very interesting kind of scenario, despite the very nice improvement that the stock has been doing. So still over the last 1 year, up 597%. Shorts are just hammering it like crazy. So like I said, December the 31st up until I think it was January the 15th. That is this right here. So looks like on the 31st, it was at 1984. So from there up until, for the most part, 1279, all of that was had an extra push coming from shorts. So they could have been doing that through options as well. So just by buying puts. So yeah, it's definitely a fun game that shorts have been playing. But as of today, 5.21 million in calls, 3 million in puts. 46% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. Of the call options that are being purchased, though, you do see a consensus for it to be above roughly around that 16. So the optimism for it to be above 20, that seems to be going away. And then the bears, they're anticipating for it to be sub 1150 this week, and then possibly $10 or sub $10 in the foreseeable future. So they are anticipating a further breakdown. So yeah, it's not a good scenario, but these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So if it's in one or on one page right now, and yeah, so definitely frequency isn't there. That's why we also have lower volume. So it's just big money. Don't like, once they hear the words dilution, that's it. They usually take a step back ultimately. But with it at $13 and change, it is right above this S2. So 1301 will be that key support that you really want to watch for that to hold. It did break below that kind of momentarily first thing. But yeah, definitely watch for that. If not, 1139 is going to be the next strong support. And just generally, it's not a good scenario right now because it is below that 50-day moving average. As I've stated, typically you do need two consecutive trading days to really signal a trend. And so tomorrow, if it does continue to close below that 50-day moving average, this is where historically you'll see a 40% pullback from these levels. Not overnight, but over at least a 1 month span. So yeah, I think SoundHound, it's just very bad timing of the S3, but you never know, right? Like I said, they do have a lot of cash already, so maybe it might be for an acquisition. SoundHound absolutely loves that. If they announce a acquisition, I feel like that would really help the stock price recover, depending on the actual entity that they're taking over and just the dollar value involved. But yeah, right now technicals are somewhat breaking down, so I think as of right now, like, it looks like the bears might be accurate, that it could be potentially touching that 1150 if this does fail to hold that 1301. So let me know your viewpoint. I know I did kind of talk on a lot. Ultimately, all-time high short interest numbers, so shorts have been doubling down more than what we have been previously anticipating. Also dilution, which for face value could just be them having like cash for the foreseeable future. This could be, again, just maybe them tentatively planning for the next 3 years, as what I mentioned is good for 3 years. Or I guess option B, it could just be for an acquisition. So I know I kind of talked on quite a lot, so let me know your thoughts on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.